I want to thank you for holding today's hearing and to our witnesses for taking time out of their valuable schedule for appearing before our committee to help us provide insight on this very important issue that you have so aptly described. In particular, I want to thank Stan Townsend, who is from Weston, Kansas, for traveling all this way, and I emphasize all this way, to give us a producer's perspective as of this morning, which I think will be very helpful. Stan and his family operate farm ground that has been in their family since 1875. He'll tell you more about their experiences later, but I think it's important for this committee to hear what he has to say. Madam Chairwoman, whether it's powering our homes or fueling farm equipment or filling up our cars at the pump, the price of energy, as everybody knows, directly impacts the cost of goods and operating expenses for American producers. While this hearing will examine energy costs under the purview of our jurisdiction, it's important we don't overlook the main factor of impacting gas prices, and that is the factor of global supply and demand. With roughly 70% of the price of gasoline and diesel contingent on the price of crude, it's easy to understand that any fluctuation in global supply and demand of crude is the most important factor determining what consumers pay at the pump. We can recall from 2008 and 2009, just a few short years ago, a weakened global economy drove down the demand of crude by almost 2 million barrels of oil per day. And the prices bottomed out at roughly $30 per barrel and about $1.50 at the pump. Increased demand and recent instability in the Middle East has again placed uncertainty on that global supply of crude. For too long, our country has been overly reliant on foreign supplies of petroleum. That's probably the understatement of my statement. In my state, the oil and gas industry supports over 119,000 jobs and contributes $14 billion annually to the Kansas gross state product. We must be careful not to pursue policies counter to this type of job creation. I realize we have a job to do, but let's not do anything that would run counter to this kind of contribution, not only in Kansas, but in every oil and gas state. I understand the President will be offering some remarks this morning on energy as well, and I know that he'll probably follow up on what he said earlier this month while speaking in Brazil at a business summit where he explained how the U.S. is eager to help expand the Brazilian offshore oil development. I think it's rather a paradox of enormous irony that with an estimated 86 billion barrels of oil reserves within the U.S., the outer continental shelf, that the President would be offering up technology and support for competitors abroad, while all the while we here have real problems with production here at home. I don't offer that in a pejorative way or a partisan way. I think it's just a fact. This committee does not have jurisdiction over the federal policies that play the largest role in the energy prices, but we sure can have a positive impact in three key areas already gone over by the chairwoman. First, this committee oversees the CFTC, the cop on the beat in the futures market. And Mr. Berkowitz is here today to tell us how they monitor the markets while allowing liquidity to flow. Second, as Mr. Boyd and Mr. Dale will tell us, agriculture is leading the way in the domestic production of alternative energy. And finally, and more fundamentally, U.S. producers like Mr. Townsend and his family continue to contribute to global stability by supplying our nation in a troubled and hungry world with low-cost, high-quality food and fiber necessary to survive. As the Agriculture Committee, we must not only understand this point, but advocate on its behalf. Global hunger leads to instability in regards to any political situation all around the world. Many times that instability occurs in areas of the world from which we rely on for the oil production. The more the U.S. farmer and rancher can do to reduce global hunger, the less pain at the pump we'll all feel. There is a connection. Madam Chairwoman, it is my hope that we all learn from these witnesses and begin moving away from the rhetoric and toward comprehensive agriculture and energy policies that help stabilize rising fuel prices.
Thank you very much, Senator Roberts. And